Good afternoon.
What's going on, everyone?
Hello.
Nick's over there on the other line. How you doing, Nick?
Howdy. Doing great.
And Adam Hall's in the studio here. I don't care how he's doing.
I know. I don't care how you're doing either.
Good.
I'm at that point now where if I just walked in and you were like deprived of thirst or whatever, I'd just be like, yeah, whatever.
All right, let's start recording, Nico.
Yeah, press the buttons. Oh wait, there's water on the table. I'm not going to give it to you.
I've had it with you because you didn't see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood last night, and I don't understand why you don't feel the same sense of urgency to seeing this movie.
Well, dude, it's not. I mean, it's not Lord of the Rings for starters. It's not Mad Max, and it's not Blade Runner. And if it's not those three things, I'm just not going to see it immediately.
I want to see this movie really bad, actually.
No, I have a reason for why I didn't go and see it.
Go ahead, explain yourself.
No, like I got kind of roped into going into Peabody, which is north of Boston.
Peabody. Oh, yes, you Boston fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what they call it. They don't call it Peabody. They call it Peabody.
Yeah, Peabody.
Oh, that used to piss me off when I lived in Boston.
I know.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, all those local people.
Now.
It's Peabody. Peabody.
Oh,
It's
man.
fucking Peabody.
It's
Like
so
P. Diddy?
simple. No, worse than that. Worse than that, because there's no I in Diddy. Or there's no I in body. There's an I in Diddy.
Well, no, this was an interesting experience for me, I guess.
Okay.
Well, basically, a buddy of mine's like, I'm getting a motorcycle. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, I need you to come up to, he said Peabody. I need you to come up to Peabody with me so I can grab the thing. So you're going to drive me up there, and then I'm going to ride the motorcycle back. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't really want to do that, but fine.
Okay. So you followed a guy on a motorcycle in the back?
No. He...
Would have been funny if he asked you to drive it back.
Ooh.
It's like, yeah, I got to get this motorcycle back, but I don't know how to drive it yet.
Well, I had stuff to do on Saturday, including seeing the movie, and I'm just like, dude, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, don't worry, I'll pay you $250. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
I can't even argue anymore. That's fair.
But
I would have paid you like $2.50 to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Think about how many times he can see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with that money.
that's very true.
That's great.
That's
As
very
we know,
true. I'm going
Adam
to see it
watches
so
movies
many more
over and
times than
over
you.
Dude, I literally almost saw it again last night. I'm not fucking kidding you. I had
You're
plans.
going to sit down for 2 hours and 45 minutes to
came
watch it again?
So close to abandoning my plans just to see it again last
Jesus.
night. Dude,
Can I
I
ask you a
want to see...
question?
What?
Without spoiling it, is there like a lot of like guns and death?
No.
Really?
No.
There's definitely some at the end.
There's one scene that is fairly violent, and there is no violence up until that point, and there is very little vulgarity up until that point.
Except for the violence and vulgarity in the movies that he's filming in this universe, right?
Not even so much that. Not even so
Really?
much that. Yeah.
Okay.
It is one of the most personal films he's ever made. It's definitely the most personal film he's ever made. And
Interesting.
understated and quiet and incredible. But we'll talk about that another day. Until then, I have to make a phone call.
Yeah.
So let's make it right now.
I wish the person I'd went up with had his license before. He got his license the day before. He never driven on the road before. And he got lost on the way back, so he wanted to follow me instead of me following him.
Do you hear a phone ringing by any chance?
No.
No, I don't. Well, Skype, let's hope this works. To God, I hope this works. Maybe should have planned this ahead of time.
Maybe.
What's up?
Yo.
Zakk Caponegro.
Oh, fuck. Am I
You have a way of talking, Nico, that is very much not how you talk in real
Yeah,
life.
that's very true.
He is the most unorganic fucking talker ever when he's talking to people on a podcast.
You also said Zakk Caponegro. I don't think that helped. If you just said, "Yo, Zakk, what's up?" You know, that would have been a little better.
Yeah. Yesterday,
Well, I knew something was up when he said, "I'm calling you from a different number." He never doesn't use his phone.
I'm using a payphone.
From a secret call, this thing. Yeah.
It's a landline. Well, here's the thing. I knew that you wouldn't be into it if I told you it was for the podcast, so I had to lie to you. You understand that, right?
We've done that to people on our podcast, so yes, I get it.
How the fuck are you, Zakk?
I'm doing good. You actually caught me, like, right in the middle of breakfast.
How's your breakfast, Zakk?
It was delicious.
Oh, that's great.
It's like his first meal of real food since being in the military, and we're interrupting it with our podcast bullshit.
What was the first thing you got for food when you came back, by the way?
Well, I mean, right now I'm at a Waffle House.
Yeah. All right.
You guys are acting like he was like starved or something. I mean,
Yeah, like
Was he not starved?
I had food. It wasn't good food, but I had food.
What were you craving the most?
I was craving actually like candy, like caramel or like a butterscotch
Ooh.
or something.
so like
'Cause I'm
sugar.
old.
What about
Yeah,
you?
just something. Something's really super sweet.
Your
What about your-
food probably wasn't sugary at all.
Mm.
No, it wasn't.
Did you eat
The
a
most
lot of
sugary thing I
taffy?
had was like, I love taffy.
You ate a lot of that shit, I imagine.
I actually haven't had any, but I'm looking for it.
You're looking for that specific brand. So did you get
Yeah.
caramel when you came back?
Yeah, I did actually. So when I graduated, my sister brought me some on
Aw.
day of graduation, so I was able to have some.
That was good of her.
So you've lost weight, right?
Yes, I had lost. I have lost 20 pounds since I joined.
Wow.
Yep, I'm planning on putting it all back on though.
I was gonna.
As soon as possible.
I was gonna say, Zakk, you
Just
just.
because I mean, literally, my first breakfast is at a Waffle House, and I had waffles, biscuit, and gravy, and hash browns. Like
It's like
I'm
Zakk's,
not eating healthy.
Zakk's lost like 20 pounds, and we're like, oh, you look terrible. You look so bad, man. Put that weight back on.
And we also need that 10 pounds of beard weight you had too. So you'd like to grow that back at any time.
Yeah, no, that was. I was sad when I shaved that. I'll be honest with you.
I bet.
It's like the death of a friend.
Yeah.
Did you shave it or did they shave it for you like in the movies?
Full Metal Jacket
No,
style.
I shaved it. I didn't want them killing my buddy, so I covered him with a pillow.
Did you bury him in the backyard?
Yes, I did, next to the dog.
Then he shot himself. Yeah, that's great.
Oh my!
I just of mice and men did. I was like, okay, it's okay, Beard. Think of the rabbits.
Let the wind blow through you one last time.
Fucking John Steinbeck over here. This is crazy.
So what was the thing that you missed the most when you were there besides your wife and friends and shit? Like, what's the most normal shit you missed?
Honestly, just like music, because you get there and you start doing the PT and working out and marching and everything, and the only music you have is our cadences, our military cadences.
Oh, damn.
So for the longest time, the only thing in my head was 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, because that's what we marched to.
1, 2, 3, 4. I love the Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
That's what I'm
Wait a minute.
My whole military experience is Full Metal Jacket, man. I just assumed there was a guy that shot himself in the bathroom when you were there. I don't know.
No, okay. See, it's funny you say that because we had this one kid who we were like the entire time we were like, oh, he better not like private eye all this. Like,
Wait, was he huge and fat? And did you guys beat him up with bars of soap and shit?
no, but he was really super depressed the entire time. We're surprised he made it.
I'm gonna ask you a different question. You getting along with everybody?
Oh hell no.
No.
Really?
I don't know. They still,
I was like,
yeah, no.
making friends and no.
I mean, there's a few guys who you like really get close to, and luckily some of them followed me down to South Carolina.
Cool.
But for the most part, I mean, when you're thrown into, a room with 100 other guys, there's gonna be issues. You're gonna be like on the verge of kicking somebody's ass the entire time.
Too many
From
dicks
day
in one
one
room.
all the way up until you leave.
But you never cross the line,
th-
so it's just on the verge.
Yeah, and it's just the more you go through it, the more they annoy you.
Really?
So like at the end, every time just one kid said his name when they were doing muster calls, like he said his name, and I'm like, and okay, yeah, now I want to kill you again. Thanks for doing that. Why would you talk? Like, but honestly, like I'm never gonna see them, so I'm not worried about it.
All right.
Easier or harder than you imagined?
Easier, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, if you go in with this idea of, oh, this is going to be the hardest thing, then it's going to be the hardest thing. You know, if you go in knowing you're going to get yelled at, knowing you're going to walk out, and knowing that you're not going to get any sleep and you're going to be told what to do, if you can let all that go and be like, okay, yeah, so it's just going to happen, then it's going to be fine. The hardest part is honestly not having like your phone.
Right.
Oh God.
Like
yeah, that's right.
But I mean, if you can look at yourself and be like, okay, well, it's only 2 months. I can write letters, and for the most part, I'm going to be too busy to use my phone anyway. It's a piece of cake.
Right. I hear a letter was sent in the mail and it got lost somewhere along the way. So I want to know what was in our letter that you supposedly sent, but I still don't believe you sent.
So no, 100%. It was the first one I sent.
Oh, look at that.
It was the first one that I put in the mail. And it was basically just, you know, hey, I made it to boot camp. So far, so good. I had my address on it, so I was like, okay, if you guys want to send me stuff, like for the podcast or whatever, you know, I'll answer questions or whatever. And then I sent it, and then I got really super angry that I never got anything back.
Oh, and you had no communication.
The whole time we were like, why the hell isn't Zakk sending us anything? What the hell?
Imagine if he pulled a Full Metal Jacket because of that.
Oh Jesus.
Oh God.
Is this a jelly donut?
Well, we would have been sending you DVDs of shitty B movies. That's the only problem.
How am I supposed to watch this?
I know. That's all you would have got in your care package. Oh shit.
But no, I mean, ultimately, so my wife actually sent me a letter saying, yeah, they're like, Nico's like really upset he didn't get a letter. And I'm like, no, I sent one. And then she said that, and then I immediately was like, nah, fuck it, I'm not gonna send him one. Like, screw it.
He's pissed.
He gets information from my wife. It's fine. I don't gotta worry about it.
At that point, we were more than halfway through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, I think I had like 3 weeks left or some shit. Like,
what I said to Jackie, the reason that I was so pissed is because Jackie had gotten like 5 letters and we had not gotten one, and I didn't think that ratio was appropriate, even though she's your wife and all. The podcast needs to know.
That's true.
Yeah, no, I literally sent it, and I can tell you how I started it. I started it by saying, hey, fuckers, I'm alive. That is how I started it. And I'm kind of really upset because, like, I spent time on that, like, making it funny and shit.
Oh, damn, dude.
And it never got there. And I'm kind of pissed off, actually.
God, what happened to it?
I'm wondering if writing, like, hey, fuckers, like, if you're, like, people in charge were like, we're not sending that.
It was ISIS code.
Oh, God.
Or no, but they could have just been like, you know, this doesn't represent the military well or something. And
so they don't read our letters. The only thing that they did was if we got a package, they just had us open it in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I think what happened was it wasn't like the address was Watat, and like that was it, and then the address. So I think what happened was they looked at it, they were like, this is interesting, this is strange, and then I don't know if they decided, A, we're not going to send it out, or if the post office was like, that's like not. Like, we can't just send it to a random string of letters. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Why don't you stop us from naming our podcast a terrorist organization?
Well, the acronym happens to be ISIS. I don't know.
We have a really good podcast name. Yeah, we have a really good podcast name. But each of the individuals spells out Taliban. Ah, shit.
Adam and Nick, I talked to Zakk the other day. What do you think his drill instructors assigned him as his duty? What do you think his duty was? He was good at one thing. I didn't tell him.
You didn't tell them this?
No, he was good at one thing in boot
technically,
camp.
I was good at two things.
Okay. Well, what do you guess those two things were? They put him in charge of this.
I don't even have a clue of what the scope of this could be. Like, I don't have a range of.
Well, let me give you a hint. It's nothing physical.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I wasn't like put in charge of PT.
I can imagine
something. It's nothing physical. You said?
Nah. It's something really mundane.
So one of the things my brain always
really it's really mundane, but like you have to do it.
I should know this.
One of the things my brain always goes to is because I went to like a tour of one of those old aircraft carriers. And I saw that in the mess hall, they had an ice cream station where they had a guy who was scooping ice cream for all the other soldiers. So
they have ice cream scoopers in the military?
So were you an ice cream scooper?
I was not an ice cream scooper.
There's no fucking way that exists.
It was there, dude. I promise.
No, dude. They're the CSs. They're the culinary specialists.
Yeah.
They're the people who give you your food.
Did you ever get ice cream?
That's the job, is to basically like heat things up and serve it to you. That's what a culinary specialist does.
I don't know. Zakk, you have OCD. Were you in charge of cleaning something?
We're getting there.
Close.
Cleaning
Organizing?
something.
Were you in charge of making sure like the bunks and stuff were clean and organized?
Ding, 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 ding,
Oh.
ding.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's spot on.
So did you have to report back and be like, yeah, this guy's bunk sucks, and then they had to remake it?
Yes, actually.
I think they were basically like, this falls on you, and at the end of the day, like you're the one who has to yell at everyone else to make sure their shit's in line.
Basically, yeah. So what it was I was made section leader, which was I was in charge of 18 other people.
Wow.
And I had to make sure that their bed was made, and not just made, but made correctly. Because in the military, there's always the wrong way and the Navy way to do it. And then that's what they said all the time. There's one way, and then there's the Navy way, and you have to do it the Navy way.
Okay.
So I had to make sure the bed was made correctly, and everything in their locker was folded and stored in the correct locations.
Jesus. So you were just a prick.
Well, you're probably older than a lot of the people there, I'd imagine.
I was one of the older ones.
Yeah, I mean, probably not the oldest, but
so there was. I think there was like 80 some odd people. I think it was 89 guys or something like that. I was sort of right in the center, maybe a little older than most of the people.
Oh, okay.
I mean, most of them were between 17 and 19.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And then we had a few guys, like we had one guy who was 38.
Whoa.
And he actually turned 39 when he was there.
Wow.
What is he doing?
So, well, he tried joining, like, he started the process like 10 years ago. And, well, no, and like, so he tried Army because he was an Army family. So he tried Army, and they were like, okay, yeah, no, we'll look into it. And then, like, 3 years in, they were like, look, okay, you just have too much shit going on. Like, we can't take you. So then he went Navy, and it was just years and years of filing for medical waivers. And then as he got older, he had to apply for age waivers, and he told me all about it. It was a nightmare, but he finally made it. So
you'd think with somebody who's willing to put in all that effort, they would just accept him at that point. Like, if you're willing to put in all that effort to be in the military, like, you want to be there.
Yeah, you'd think. But and you know what the saddest part is? He's a dick.
Oh,
he's an asshole.
Damn.
He's a nice guy. But he's just, like, super sarcastic with everything because he's older. So he has that mindset of, like, oh, no, I'm just fucking around with you. But it's not fucking around with you.
Right.
I see. That's too bad.
But,
well, you said he comes from an Army family, too, so I can imagine.
Yeah, he comes from a military family, so that's sort of, you kind of have to be like that.
I'm imagining Tom Cruise's character from Top Gun for some reason. Okay. Just because, like, I saw that new trailer for the sequel because they're making Top Gun 2. And Tom Cruise is still the guy flying the planes. He hasn't moved up the ranks in any way. What? I'm just imagining this guy at 55.
Yeah, I saw that.
Doing the same shit.
God.
They had to figure out a way to justify Tom Cruise in a plane in this movie.
Oh my god, I can't believe they're doing that.
They're not putting
They
him
should
on
have done
like
one of
leave.
those. They should have done one of those things where it's like he came out of retirement and he had to get in a plane for one last mission. You know, like if they're gonna go stupid, just go stupid.
They imply he's been doing the same shit for 25 years.
He loves to fly, Nico.
He feels the need
Even
for
in, like,
speed.
I watched that movie because
She has the need.
I watched that movie again recently. I hadn't seen it since I was like 10 or something. And I was like, this is the gayest movie I've ever seen.
So gay.
It is unbelievably fucking gay.
So gay.
Hey, my dad loves that movie.
It is shockingly gay.
The volleyball scene is so
Oh my
homoerotic. It's
god.
amazing.
My
Yeah,
dad
why would they do that?
loved that movie at the Journey concert.
Oh man.
Funny, listeners at home, it's funny because my dad's actually gay.
Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with it. My dad's gay.
My dad watches Top Gun. It's fine.
My dad has played volleyball. It's fine.
All right, Zakk, you can go enjoy your breakfast now. We're done with you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But thank you so much.
It's good hearing from you, bud.
Well,
Good
you know,
hearing from
it's been a pleasure,
Has
and
it?
I hope this podcast does well.
I don't think he means that.
You know what's funny? You're actually closer to me now. Right now.
Yeah, I'm actually like
You're like 4
surprisingly
hours.
close to.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh damn. Oh, you should have went up for his graduation.
I didn't know it was in Chicago. I had no clue.
Until
Oh.
just this morning. Well, there you go.
No, I knew.
Well,
it was
you wouldn't have been able to make it on base anyway.
No.
That's true.
Oh, this is on base.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. So the graduation was on base, and then I was able to leave base, which was nice.
Oh, I see.
So like I was like I didn't go to Chicago. I went to Arlington with my family and stuff. So
Oh, cool. Okay. So what's next for you, by the way? What are your next couple months looking like?
well, so I'm as of right this second I'm in South Carolina.
Oh.
I got
didn't
to the
realize.
base last night. Yeah. I got to the base last night. I got my room assignment. I'm off base now because it's the weekend, so we can go off base, which is nice being out in public with not my dress uniform. Yeah, I mean, now it's just waiting for classes to start and filling out paperwork so Jackie can get down here and we can get a house.
Cool,
Oh,
man.
my God.
So that's
Cool,
going to be
cool.
really my main focus right now is getting out of the goddamn barracks.
With
Well,
all
'cause
the
once I-
snoring.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
There's got to be a lot of
honestly,
snoring.
If there's one thing boot camp teaches you, it's how to sleep through anything.
Oh, wow.
Like this morning, there was people like arguing in the room next to me, like loud. I slept right through it all the way to 8 o'clock,
Wow.
which is the latest I've ever slept in boot since I've joined. By the way,
They didn't
that-
teach
like
you
it
how to
was a
shoot a gun,
luxury.
but he can sleep through anything now.
Damn.
well, I mean, they teach you how to shoot a gun. But
Are you better
not
at shooting
a
now?
lot. Not really.
Okay.
I'm as good as I was. I might be a little better now just because I've gotten my hands on like the actual Beretta. But
I mean, how often
I
do you
made-
really
I
need to
made
go
sh-
shoot?
not often, and they really don't even let you go shoot often.
Yeah.
The Navy authorizes once every 6 months.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think the goal there is never. I think that's the ideal situation. Yeah. He never has fire gun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you haven't died yet.
Yet. Oh, I don't like that you said yet.
Yeah.
That was mean.
What a jerk. This piece of shit here.
Yeah. So enjoy your Waffle House. Enjoy your family, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as I can, as soon as I get my housing assignment, we'll try to figure out something so I can like Skype in.
Cool, man.
Oh, my God. We're going to have both Nick and Zakk Skyping in. Skype buddies.
Well, if Nico
If you
can get
thought-
his
if
ass
you-
out of the house, well,
If you thought that we had technical difficulties before, just you wait.
It's gotten better. Gotten better on our end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But just wait
sure-
until the U.S. military is involved.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We gotta
Yeah,
watch
it's
our
also
mouths. They're gonna be listening in.
Yeah, they probably will. Which, honestly, if you think about it, that's like a whole lot more listeners, right?
That's a great point. The NSA has just doubled our listenership.
I think we just need to make sure they're listening through the proper feeds.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, I don't want them listening surreptitiously because that's just rude. We need the freaking...
We need the
We need the
numbers.
count.
If you're gonna be spying on
need
us,
the-
at least
we need the
subscribe.
I mean, this is public. We're publishing it. So, like,
Yeah.
there's no reason to...
Spy on something that is made public. But I think that's just called listening, but whatever. All right, Zach.
All right.
All right.
Take it
I love
easy,
you,
pal.
fuckers.
All right.
See you,
Dude,
dude.
man, take care.
All right, bye.
There he was.
Wow.
There he goes.
Wow.
How special was that, everyone?
That was a
nice.
treat.
That was
Love
great.
that.
That was fantastic. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's talk about this movie now, shall we?
Oh yeah. the
Speaking of
movie.
the United States military, it's a movie about military affairs.
yeah, absolutely.
What? No.
What do you mean? It's not about. It's definitely about military affairs and cows.
It's about Elvis Presley saving, like, the East German regime after World War II or something.
That didn't happen. Hey, Elvis was in the military. Okay, was he not?
I guess that's true. I also, yeah.
Yeah. See, Nick,
guess.
you're wrong. You're fucking
Except-
wrong.
Yeah, this is all wrong.
Also, Val Kilmer played Elvis in a movie before. He played Elvis in True Romance. So you're
that's right.
actually dead on.
He also played Jim Morrison.
That's true, he did. Val Kilmer.
What? You
Yeah.
played Elvis and Jim Morrison?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
The Doors.
on. You never seen The Doors? Come on. The
Doors is a fun movie.
the Oliver Stone movie.
Dude, I stand up for that movie.
Dude, Kyle MacLachlan plays
I need to watch
Ben
this movie.
Manzarek.
As soon as you say Kyle MacLachlan, I'm in. He's
He
my
plays
boy.
the piano and it's great.
He plays the piano?
Well, the keyboard, but same difference.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he plays Ben Manzarek, the keyboardist of The Doors.
Oh, no, the keyboardist. I thought you meant the instrument. He plays the instrument. That's why I was confused.
Well, he plays his instrument, you know?
Oh yeah, well he always does, especially in Showgirls.
Knows how to play my instrument, that's for sure.
Right. How fucking weird is it that this is Val Kilmer's first movie role?
Oh God, for a movie star, for a guy that's this good looking,
Right.
it's like what?
I understand that's what the part calls for. Like, you need a good-looking guy, and you need someone that can pull off Elvis. But when I think Val Kilmer, I don't think comedic lead.
Never. I think this is the only. Yeah, I was gonna say because he's done a spoof movie before, but like much later in his career, a little movie called MacGruber,
Right.
which we love.
Right. Really good.
Yeah, but he plays the villain in that.
Right. But also, in the later stage of his career, when we already know who Val Kilmer is, right? It's sort of a post-Val Kilmer, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, that's true.
For this to be the debut, he gets the lead in a major motion picture as his first movie. And to
But,
see
like,
what
it's not
comes
like
after that. What?
Yes, it's a major motion picture, but it's not like the type of movie where it matters.
Well,
You can get a shitty lead in this movie and it's fine.
I guess.
guess,
It's from
sure.
the guys that did Airplane. Airplane was a very successful movie.
No, I'm not saying right, but the success of this movie is not based on his performance. I mean, it's more about his aesthetic. It's about how he looks more than it is about
True.
Right.
his acting. You know, and he just looked right for the part.
He fills the part, I guess. Yeah, even
You know,
Did you think
I
he
mean,
was good? Did you think he was funny?
kind of like in a
I mean,
way.
I thought this whole movie was. I'm not gonna lie. Of all the movies we've seen, this was one of the most hilarious movies. I've seen. Legitimately, very legitimately.
Oh, I'm so happy you guys like this movie.
Incredibly stupid.
Yes.
Incredibly stupid.
Oh,
And I've
unbelievably
seen-
stupid.
I've never seen like a Zucker Brothers film like all the way through, but I've kind of like seen them. And also, it's like this type of movie. I mean, if you've seen Monty Python, if you've seen any spoof movie, any of the scary movies, like you know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's
They're all
true,
kind
but
of the same at the end of the day. And so, well, I'm just saying, like once you know what you're getting into, you can just sit back and relax and really enjoy it. And this was one of the better ones.
Well, there's a distinction you need to make between like contemporary spoof movies and something like this. Whereas, I mean, a lot of contemporary spoof movies aren't really there's nothing to them. There isn't really even a story. It's just
they're
referencing.
lazy.
Oh
They're
God,
lazy.
it's terrible.
Nowadays,
Whereas, like,
especially the thing about these ones, especially, and like even a lot of the old Monty Python ones, is they're spoofing like a genre or a style. They're making a statement about something.
Yep.
You know, whereas the modern ones, they're just like referencing pop culture.
Exactly.
And they're getting almost too specific and too niche that they're not actually saying anything.
And they're also just copying it.
Oh God, yeah.
And a lot of times I don't think, like, for example, the Scary Movie franchise, I'm not sure it knows the difference anymore between the original thing and their spoof of that thing.
Well, and that's more evident with the first Scary Movie. Even though I don't mind the first Scary Movie all that much, they didn't understand the fact that Scream is a parody itself.
Right.
So they just parodied a parody. So they're like, what?
Right.
Yeah, and the difference between like something like that and something like this is that this is actually well structured and well put together and creative as fuck.
Yes.
Which I love.
Well, similar to Airplane.
Yeah.
It's like really, I know it's stupid and sophomoric, but it's actually very smart.
Good stupid. No, that's the thing. You have to be really smart to come up with some of this shit.
Right. And I just love, this is sort of my favorite comedy. It's not just the one-liners. It's not just the puns. I'm not a big pun guy. I know some people are. I don't find them amusing at all. I like when a movie or a TV show commits to a bit.
Yeah.
And they just take the bit and they go one step farther with it and one step farther with it. And they keep going and going and going. And they sort of go down this wormhole and you don't know where they're going to end up. And as you say, it's that Bill Burr quote of you don't know how they got to the joke in the first place. Most jokes you can track the process to write that joke. Yeah. Here it's like, how the hell did you get to Pac-Man eating pellets on a map of Berlin?
Well, I actually get how they got to that one. One I don't understand is skeet surfing. Where the fuck did that come from?
My God!
Skeet surfing, yes.
Where does that come from?
That's a reference.
Hilarious. Just imagining, like, so, like, I mean, so really quick, actually, okay? All of my notes on this movie, I was trying to write notes so I would, like, know what to talk about as I do. All of my notes are just bits. They're not notes. I have nothing to say other than this bit was funny, this bit was funny, this bit was funny. Like, that's all it is.
Damn.
So one of the first bits, though, is they're introducing this character, Nick Rivers, who's like the Elvis Presley of the movie.
Yep.
And also the protagonist, Val Kilmer, and he has a top chart song called "Skeet Surfin" to the tune of like a Beach Boys song, right?
Surfin' USA.
Surfin' USA. Yeah. Okay. And it's just showing like how people are like going surfing and like shooting at discs with shotguns while they're surfing. And it's like this new craze, and like people are on the beach and like bullets are flying and they have to like duck, and it's just hilarious. It's incredibly stupid and unsafe.
I think the song opened up with "If everybody had a 12 gauge." Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, the point is that the songs of that time, for some reason, a lot of them included surfing, and they would just say "skeet" all the time in their songs.
Oh,
so when they added that, there's like, what is something that like beach songs have in common? Surfing, of course, and for some reason, skeet shooting.
Right.
So we're just gonna put them together.
So funny.
Oh God, I love but it's more than just that. Like, there's a lot of like little things that they throw in the background that I just
They're
love.
Constantly throwing in things in the background.
Attention to detail in these movies is great. It's like when they're all like, there's like hundreds of people just running to into the water to go surfing, and then you just see this little old lady in the background with her surfboard,
right?
Just stuff like that, or like the woman who has her boobs impressed into the sand for no good reason.
Right, like she's like laying on her stomach and she lifts up to look what's going on, and they just have two holes in the sand where her boobs were, like very unnecessary.
So many of the jokes are visual, and it makes me think, like, are you coming up with these on set? Did you start the bit and you're ad-libbing these? Because a lot of this stuff, how can you dream that up in a writer's room?
It has to have like a storyboard artist. I don't know, because
I'm sure it's probably a mix of both. Because like, I mean, I just imagine when you're actually like laying things out for real and you're actually blocking and you're looking and you're going, oh, you know what, that would be really funny. We should just do that. Because it takes most of these bits. They appear that they would only take about 10 seconds to do, like on the fly.
Well, there's one, and I wonder
and then there's some that are very like,
well, there's one where I wonder if we're going to agree on what our favorite bit is in this movie. I think we might,
It's
because
tough.
there's
I don't
one in
know.
particular that's just
so
it's
many.
like it almost goes beyond being funny. It's just so well done. Where I'm like, holy crap, they're actually doing this.
Okay, we'll
What is
talk about it.
David Lynch, is that the one?
Yeah. Damn it.
yeah.
Yeah, he knows
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Explain. No, go ahead. Say it now. Explain. Let's talk about it.
Well, no, I mean they just film an entire scene in reverse for no reason.
Oh yes, incredible stuff.
And it's like, oh, we're going to the Swedish bookstore. Is the joke that she knows Swedish?
Yes. Well,
And so then, but they're talking in they're not talking in Swedish. It's just all filmed in reverse.
yeah. But think about what they had to do. Not only did they have to do that scene in reverse in terms of their actual movements, but they had to say their lines in reverse.
Right. Well, did they say their lines in reverse, or did they just talk gibberish and they played it in reverse?
No, because
couldn't
I've seen the
understand them.
scene backwards, and they just say the lines in reverse.
And it's in English?
Yeah.
Did you understand them when it was in reverse? Because I couldn't understand them.
No, yeah, no. It's you can't understand what they're saying. That's the point. But if you there's a version on YouTube of this scene where they actually play the way it was shot before it was played in reverse, and their lines are completely out of place. But that's because they say the lines in reverse.
I understand.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're saying the words backwards or anything. It's just the lines themselves.
But the idea is that the Swedish language sounds like you're talking backwards.
Yes, exactly.
Right? That's
Right.
the joke.
Yeah.
But it's like he's like, oh, you can leave using this fire pole, and they just go up the fire pole. Like it's very, like they don't even try to hide it. It's hilarious.
And then the dog walks backwards.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna film a scene backwards, you're not gonna put a dog in that scene.
I have a
You're not
great
gonna put any animal.
I have a great fun fact for you guys. Nico, you will love this. So Peter Cushing plays the old man in this little library, and
Yep.
he's got like a really like the scene opens with them coming up to him, and he's like looking through something in a magnifying glass, and then he takes it
Right.
off, and he's got this enormous eye.
It's just the same size as the magnifying glass.
But they had to make a cast of his head, right?
Right.
To use in that movie so that they could put that prosthetic on. So in Star Wars Rogue One,
What the fuck? Where are you going with this?
and for some reason, in order to model the Peter Cushing's
Wow,
face,
the CGI.
they use that cast that they used for Peter Cushing.
Wow. With the enormous eye. So, Top Secret is the only reason why Peter Cushing was brought back to life, essentially, in Rogue One?
Essentially, yes.
Wow, dude.
Isn't that amazing?
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Like, where do we have a Peter Cushing mold? Oh, from Top Secret. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Like, no, it's amazing that they even knew what Top Secret was.
Right.
So, I'm not really sure. Here's what I think we should do, because this is a hard movie to talk about to a degree. As awesome as it was, I mean, I would just say, if you haven't seen this, go watch it. It's fun, good time, short.
And no
know?
one's seen it. That's the thing. It's like it's such
Yeah,
a,
it's a little more obscure.
yeah, and
It's streaming on this thing called Pluto TV. So if you have that, you can stream it on there. And it's free.
So, but I think we should just attempt to bare bones go through the story really quick without. Let's not focus on the details.
Okay.
Let's just talk about what is this movie about,
okay,
and then let's just go through funny bits.
okay,
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm down.
So I'll just try to. I'll try to. You guys can fill in the gaps if you think, but like like I'll be honest with you, Nigel doesn't matter. We don't need to go into that. Like,
Oh yeah.
that shit doesn't matter. Essentially, this is East Germany after World War II, and
Is
the
it?
East German. I'm pretty sure, right? Doesn't it take place in the 50s?
I mean, they reference things that take place in the 80s too, and
I know they
wearing
do.
they're wearing Nazi uniforms.
I know, but I'm pretty sure the opening card was 1950 something, and
Okay.
they keep saying East Germany or East Berlin.
Yeah, no, this is definitely 50s.
So this is like, yeah, but the idea is that instead of the communists having East Germany, for some reason the Nazis are still in control. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
But so the Germans are trying to take control over the world again or whatever, but they're hosting a big cultural festival. And so they're bringing in like famous singers from around the world, and one of them is this Elvis Presley character, Nick Rivers. And he sees a beautiful German girl who is involved in the resistance, and her father was a German scientist that they kidnapped to build a big weapon. And so he gets sucked into this journey to join the resistance and fight the Nazis and save the girl. That's essentially the storyline in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, correct.
So that's about it. That's what this movie, and it's making fun of, you know, spy movies, war movie, like resistance types of movies, and
but it commits to that though. It doesn't really treat that story lazily. I really don't want to say that it treats it lazily at all.
One of the notes I have in here is that it's like it's an exceptionally well done movie all around.
Yeah.
Everything is very well done. Even the acting is like it's stupid, but it's not bad.
It's purposely cued a certain way.
Right.
That's important.
It's not like bad acting like in the scary movies. You know, like Scary Movie 1, it's not bad. It's just it's stupid because it's meant to be stupid.
Good stupid. We have to reiterate, this is good stupid. There is such a thing
like
as
Monty
good
Python
stupid.
Yes. This is that kind of level. So
one of the things I appreciated, though, you're right about that. They didn't treat the story lazily.
No.
And that's actually something that it is that it differs from Airplane on.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Airplane, as much as I love that movie, is just a consecutive string of bits.
Yeah.
There's not a story to hang it together. There are events that happen, and there are characters that overlap, but there's no real plot to Airplane. This one does use the plot as a tree to hang these jokes on. Like, it is well structured and it's solid.
Rigidly structured.
Right.
That's important.
And I did appreciate that there was a story and there were characters that I followed, and references at the beginning of the movie came back at the end of the movie. I'm not going to say it's better than Airplane, but it might be better than Airplane.
It could be a better movie.
Yeah.
But I'm being honest, this is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
It's so funny.
It is. I remember being like, holy shit. Yeah, that's like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I will put it right up there with Airplane. And oh man, I can't wait to talk about the bits.
Did you guys just write the bits down in order as they happened, as they were funny?
Yeah, I have some stuff, yeah.
Okay, because I have such a long list. I only have one thing before skeet surfing, which is, again, like a 3 or 4 minute music video right at the beginning. But the first thing is you're in the East Germany spot, and the Germans are having some sort of meeting, and a young soldier walks in with a note, and he says, there's an Englishman who is
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Part of the resistance, and he escapes. So the guy hands him the note, and the note just says, "Find him." The note says the Englishman escaped, and so the German pulls out a red stamp that says, "Find him and kill him," and stamps it on the note. That's hilarious.
Well, yeah, the implication is that he's been stamping so many notes with the same phrase.
Right.
That's how many people he's ordered to go track down and kill. He wanted to save some time.
Well, I was like, he had to tell someone, I need you to make a stamp that says, "Find him and kill him."
It's like signing checks. It's so tedious.
I also love, the idea is they already know what their orders are. They just need him to approve them, essentially. Yeah, we know we have to go find him and kill him, but we need you to approve this really quick. Okay.
But again, just to add to that scene, just to make it that all the more weird and funny, is that as soon as that little the kid soldier comes up to the guy, he takes off his helmet, and for some reason his strap is still attached to his chin.
I didn't notice that. It's all that little shit. It's so great.
It. But then there's the fight scene on the train where the Englishman is fighting the German.
Yes.
Omar Sharif, by the way, is the Englishman.
Right.
We should point that out.
You're right. You're right. I forgot about that. I dropped the ball on this one.
Oh boy, that was so good.
You want to explain that fight?
Well, they're on the top of a train, and it's something that you've seen out of James Bond before, and it's kind of, a lot of crazy stuff going on. And he gets to the point where the Englishman is on the ground, and it's as if he's about to get won over by this English dude, the German dude. And he's standing up, the German guy's about to beat the shit out of him, and then there's a bridge coming, because they're on the train, and they're about to pass the bridge. And, normally you would hit the bridge and you die, right? No, not this guy. This German is so fucking strong and so big and whatnot that he just goes straight through it. The bridge gets destroyed.
Like a stone tunnel bridge, essentially. And he just goes straight through it, and he's still standing. And he's just brushing off the rubble. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Oh,
and I'm glad that was literally probably the first 10 seconds of this movie, because it really sets the tone.
Yes,
right off the bat.
Completely. Oh, boy.
Yeah, they're on the train. This is another bit that I wanted to point out. When Val Kilmer is on the train with his agent, and
on his way to Germany,
right? And he's the visual storytelling here. The visual jokes are so funny. He's got a a canvas and he's painting the scenery outside. So he begins painting the bushes and the trees and all of East Berlin and shit. And because he's on a train, the painting just looks like a bunch of motion blurs. Because he can't get a look at any particular bush.
He's using his thumb to measure things.
Meanwhile, they're playing. Well, so his agent is reading the newspaper, which is called the Daily Oppressor.
Yep.
And they're just like listening in the background to like learning German.
Right.
And they're just repeating these German phrases like, "Can I have a pen? Can I have a pen?" And then all of a sudden, like, just one of them is, "There's sauerkraut in my lederhosen." Like, that's a real useful phrase.
The best, though, this might have been one of my favorite bits of the whole movie, when they're at the train station and then
I think I know where you're going, and I agree.
Yes. The train drives off, except the train isn't actually driving.
Oh.
It's the train station that's on a track of its own that begins going in the other direction, and then you have a guy that's running after the train station as though he's late for his train.
The shot of the guy running after the tree.
Oh
is
my God.
So I think it's even funnier than the trains. I don't know what it is about the guy trying to catch the tree. It's just too goddamn funny.
That's one of those
They had to
bits.
like set up a track and build this thing. Like,
Right.
I was rewatching it last night. I'm like, that is, I don't know why that's so damn funny.
It's one of those bits too. It's like, how do you think of that? Who is thinking of that bit? Like, you guys, if you don't, if you haven't seen the movie, look this bit up on YouTube. It's something with, I don't know, top secret train station. Because it's almost like your words can't do it justice. It's so goddamn funny. And it's like, if you're thinking about this in a writer's room, if I'm writing a script with you, and one of us came up with that idea, I'm not sure I would realize how funny it was until I saw it executed.
That's the problem, and that's why this is so incredible to me, is because it's like, yeah, no, most of it relies on the visuals.
Right.
It's like, if you've ever like tried to write scary stories, it's incredibly difficult because of how visual they are.
Sure.
So when you're actually writing them down, they're not scary at all. And it's the same way with something like this, where the visual comedy is just constantly flying.
Right.
And I don't know how you conceive it or explain it to anybody other than to just be like, trust us.
Sure.
so
Trust
there's
us.
there's another bit, which is, this is the part I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
When he's at the train station before it takes off, and you know, he's in Germany for the first time, seeing what it's like, and there's this guy who has a package in his hands, and all of a sudden all these dogs start barking at him, and the police come by and they're like, "What do you have?" And they take him, and Nick Rivers is like, "Where are you taking him?" And they're like, "Nowhere." And then you hear gunshots and they just shoot the guy dead in the street. And the package he was holding, I love that this detail for no reason, is just a package full of dog bones. And all of the dogs are just going crazy after the I'm like, why did they kill this guy?
You know what that reminds me of is a scene in Pan's Labyrinth.
Which one?
Where the guy has the rabbits and then they crush his skull.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I just had rabbits.
Pan's Labyrinth.
It's such a good movie.
Oh, man.
What is that?
What are you looking at? What's the matter?
What is this?
That's his Nicolas Cage pillow.
I was like, it looks like there is a man peeking through your pillow.
Yeah,
man.
it's my
That is
Nicolas
so-
Cage pillow.
That is so creepy. It's like a little detail in the background, and I can't stop looking at it.
You just saw him peeking over my shoulder. I kept seeing you looking at here. I'm like, what is this?
What
What's he
is
looking
that?
for? Yeah, it's Nicolas Cage peeking over.
That is so creepy.
So that bit is followed by the map, you know, the classic international thriller map where it's like flying over the coast. He's headed from England to East Berlin, and you see the ... on the map, and then it just keeps going. You hear not only the sounds of a train, then you hear the sounds of a car, and the map zooms in, and it becomes just dots on the street, and then those dots are being overlapped by other dots, and that's supposed to signify traffic. And it's this incredible visual sequence, and then by the end of it there's nowhere else to go because you have this grid
everywhere.
essentially of streets with dots on it. You have to do a Pac-Man joke, so out comes Pac-Man to eat up the dots, and then he starts chasing the ghosts. And again, it's like, what a great bit of visual storytelling. Way to commit to the bit.
Exactly.
It's so good.
So, where do we go from here? Is it the dinner scene?
Yeah, it's like he's Nick Rivers is going to dinner. At
You
one
did
of these
miss the
fancy
part.
restaurants.
You did miss the or maybe I'm jumping ahead. But
What,
the female Olympic team, The German
Oh,
all-female
sure.
Olympic team.
Oh God.
Is just a bunch of roided up men with wigs.
It's pretty funny. Yeah,
We'll
they're
talk
giving all the guests keys to the city.
We'll talk about the role of men in like dance numbers too. I guess if you want to, or ballet. I'll just say ballet. I'll get straight to it because that's great as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's that English spy guy from the beginning on the top of the train. He is also. They have some storyline with him where he's going to meet one of his contacts, and his contact's cover is that he's a guy who sells like prank toys. So every time somebody walks by, he has to pretend they're just doing a transaction. So he's like, "Oh, sir, here, smoke this cigar. It's great," and then it explodes in his face, and it's like, you know. So they just keep like doing these stupid visual gags while they're secretly trading information.
But that also makes fun of one of my favorite spy movie tropes, which is the 007 question. You ask in order to verify that it's actually James Bond.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, which is like so ridiculous to me. It's always like, does the owl fly at night?
Where there's only two responses.
10 years, right?
You either know the response or you go, "What the fuck?"
It's always the most absurd question. And then as soon as the guy answers the question correctly, it's like 007. You know, it's like
007.
Do you have a massive erection right now?
What was the question? I don't remember.
Oh shoot! Was it the one with the female tennis players? No, it was.
Oh, he said, "Oh yeah, he's." Do you know any good white basketball players?
Right.
He goes,
and the
there
guy
are
goes,
no good white basketball players.
There are no good white basketball players.
and it's like 007. Nice to see we can finally talk freely. It's like, why the need for a response? Once the guy asks the question, no random ass dude is going to ask you that question on the street.
Is he looking for a response from that guy too? Maybe.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I just always found that trope very absurd.
It's
because
silly.
you're really taking a gamble if you ask the wrong guy that question.
Well, it's just going to be like some random person being like, "Well, this guy's fucking nuts."
If you ask an enemy of the state that question, all of a sudden it might not go so well.
I mean, if you ask specifically that question, it's probably not going to go so well with certain people.
Yes. But there was another moment in the movie when it happened. It was, who do you like in the upcoming tennis match? And he goes, with female tennis players, I always favor the heterosexual. It's just like so stupid.
Right.
But what happens to this Englishman?
Well, so he ends up getting betrayed, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they he gets in a car with his driver. Then they arrive at the location. And the driver gets out and goes, "Hey, this isn't the place we're supposed to be." And then a giant magnet drops on the car, lifts it up, and puts it in a car crusher. And so we're to assume he like dies in the car crusher.
Yeah.
But wait.
What happens?
They later find him, and he's just in the female who's in the Resistance's hotel room. He's trapped in the vehicle like a coffin, and his head's just sticking out, and he's like, "I was betrayed. There's a traitor in our midst." And you know, he's like, "Oh, I have the tickets to the ballet. You need to go meet someone at the ballet." He's like, "Where are the tickets?" "In the glove compartment." "Can you reach them?" He uses his left arm, and what does the radio turn on?
Yeah, and then the windshield wipers turn on. They smack him in the face.
Right, uses his right arm. And then she's like, "Oh, I can reach for it," and she reaches over, puts her boobs on his face, and then the satellite the satellite antenna just starts shooting up like he has an erection from his crotch area. Stupid gags, you know. Love it.
I love how as soon as it goes up, he honks the horn.
Yeah, right.
Like little stuff like that.
Stupid gags. In the meantime, Nick, who we kind of skipped around a little bit, but Nick met this woman at dinner, and I particularly liked. He's just like focusing on this woman, and the German guy comes up and he's like, "Would you like this drink?" And he just pours it in the glass, and Nick's not paying attention. He gets up and walks away, and it's just like very obviously like a very thick amount of poison, and it just melts the glass through in like a matter of seconds.
I love the sequence when she sits down though, and some guy comes over asking about like if he can speak German, and she's like, I know a little German. He's over there, and there's this tiny little German man who's old, and it's just like waving at her. It's like the happiest thing he's ever seen. It's so creepy.
Well, that to me was this movie's version of "Are you serious?"
That's true.
Yeah, surely you can't be serious. I am serious, but don't call me Shirley.
There's there's lots of like play on words in this movie,
Right.
which I kind of love.
Yeah. That was the one for sure. The dancing in that scene was quite funny, like the choreographed dance number.
But it's well done, is the thing.
Yeah, very well done. Everybody in the room just knows exactly how to dance.
Well, and like all the old guys playing the instruments, they're just like not even playing the instruments at this point. One of them's just laying on his back with his legs flailing in the air while he plays the bass.
One of them pulls out the guitar and it's just jamming out. It's
Yeah.
like, why did you have that with your orchestra?
It's so funny. So yeah, Nick does one of his 1950s, rock and roll songs for all the Germans, and they love it, except for the German military. They're not pleased.
Mm-mm.
And then I love this bit. So next is the ballet. But
Yes.
when he's talking to the German girl, I love when he's talking to her, and she says, like, my uncle escaped East Germany in a balloon during the Jimmy Carter presidency. And I'm just like, this movie takes place in the 1950s. And also, there really was a guy who escaped from East Germany in a balloon during the Jimmy Carter presidency. That's a real thing that happened.
What? What?
So, yeah, there's a real story. This guy, like, for years, or at least months, but I think maybe years, was like going and buying small amounts of fabric, because the military police kept track of what you bought and what you did. So he could only buy it in small amounts. So he would buy small amounts of fabric, and he slowly sewed together this giant balloon.
Wow.
And he took a motorcycle and he took it apart and used the engine and built a hot air balloon.
Wow.
He built a basket out of a flat block of wood, like essentially just like a square block of wood, and then he attached like bars to it and string to like kind of keep them in. Almost imagine like a wrestling ring, but miniature.
Holy crap.
And so he and his family got in this thing. They flew up in this balloon, went over the wall. They couldn't control it, and they crash landed, but they all survived on the west side.
He and his family. How do you convince
his family.
your wife, like, yo,
and his kids. He had
yo,
like 3
babe.
kids.
Damn, dude.
I got
And-
this balloon.
Well, so what's crazy about it is that he had to like be very careful and make sure that A, they left at the right time where people weren't paying attention, blew up the balloon, it was kind of loud, and they had to make sure the wind current was going the right way so they didn't go further east
Yeah, that's true.
because they had no control over the thing.
Okay.
And so he managed to escape. It's incredible.
That guy, that's the guy we should be building statues about. That guy is
Right.
fucking amazing.
In Plainville especially.
Dude, like, listen, I don't want to get too political here, but I want like 10 of those guys running for president. I would vote for that guy in a heartbeat. Wait a minute, you
could
know
you
how
not?
to you know how to construct a hot air balloon out of fabric in your backyard? Yes. Here's the nuclear codes. Take them.
Here's the nuclear
I want you to have them. That's the only guy I would trust with anything. He's amazing. He tracked the wind currents to be able to get over the wall.
Is that badass, though?
Of course.
Is it? Well, I
Dude,
escaped.
he would have been murdered if they caught him.
He's incredible.
It's just funny to be able to say, I escaped East Berlin in a fucking balloon.
I want to know that.
yeah.
I'm sure he's since passed.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Maybe he
I
isn't
think-
though.
I think he might still be alive, actually, or there's a documentary about him, actually, and you can
Wow.
see like the guy, and so it's pretty cool. I forget where I saw this, but I saw it somewhere on YouTube, or somebody interviewed the guy essentially,
That's amazing.
or one of his kids, but I think it was the guy.
They made a movie about it.
They did?
It's called Night Crossing. John Hurt, Jane Alexander, Bo
John
Bridges,
Hurt.
1982.
Yeah,
Night Crossing.
Wow.
it's an incredible story.
It's a Disney movie.
Really?
But what I love is that she just randomly throws that little detail in that conversation that, like, in 1984 you would get that joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's one of those jokes that people don't remember nowadays. But I think in 1984 that must have been a big story, like just a couple years ago.
It's so ridiculous. Like, I'm like, what? And I kind of laughed at it anyway because of how absurd it was. And there's another joke much later on in the film that is kind of similar, where it is equally dated, but just the sheer fact of what happens, it's the Pinto. And I guess we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
where it's like that only makes sense to people who actually drove Pintos back in the day, but just the idea of the car exploding the way it does, it's like, oh,
Right.
like that's just funny to me.
So the next scene I labeled in my notes as boner ballet.
Yes, because that's what it is. That is an apt description.
Oh, by the way, Peter Strutslick is the guy's name. Just passed away in 2017.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Rest in peace. Continue.
True hero.
Yeah, true. Hero.
So they attend this ballet, and it's, Nick is there because he's a guest and he's, going to see all of Germany, and he sees in the binoculars across the way the German girl is in one of the other, what do you call those private booths?
The mezzanine?
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. She has like a private booth.
I think actually the balcony.
The balcony.
Seats,
up the
right?
balcony.
Yeah.
Seats for two kind of thing, and she's meeting somebody there. And Nick is watching through the binoculars because he sees her across, and then he sees the guy pull a gun out on her. So he runs across to go save her. And they're trying to... Well, we should talk about the boner ballet, actually. The joke.
Wait, he's kind of like glossed right over that. Wait. Boner ballet? What?
So, yeah, they show the females in the ballet, and the men all come out, and they all just have, like, crazy big rock-hard erections in their little outfits. and not only that, all of the female... dancers begin like doing dances while balancing on their dicks and like walking across them as a bridge. And
they literally walk across their dicks at one point. It's kind of amazing.
it's funny as fuck.
It's like this is one of those movies where it's like I would have loved to have gotten our reactions to certain moments, especially that one. Again, it's just so weird and surreal. And there's more of that in this movie. We haven't really gotten to much of it yet, but it's just
this honestly, just talking through the bits will take as long as the movie.
Oh my god! Yeah,
because there's one every 10 seconds.
I know.
And so he's trying to run away now with Hillary. I should mention her name instead of just calling her the girl, Hillary. And so they're trying to run away. After he saved her, he kind of pushed this guy over the edge of the balcony, and so now people are chasing him. And he goes, in here, and he opens a door labeled janitor, and what's inside the door? Just a janitor. He's just standing there with a mop, like, hey. I love that. That's one of my favorites. And then they keep running, and he lets her escape through the window, and he says,
well, you forgot what room that was, though.
Maybe I missed
That
it.
was labeled the prop room.
The prop room.
Rather than actual props for the theater, it's just plain propellers. Hanging from the walls.
And then he barricades the door with the propeller.
Yeah.
Right. And then so he lets her escape. He says, I'm a guest of the country. They can't do anything to me. And so they put him in prison.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they open up the prison scene with like him putting lines of chalk on the wall to keep track of how many days he's been there. And of course, I think we all knew the joke right away, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He puts up his 20th line.
Yep.
And the guy, his agent comes in. He goes, "Man, I've been in here 20 minutes already."
Yeah, but I think that guy, the guy who comes in, has maybe the funniest line in the entire.
Oh, so good!
I've talked to the American embassy, the East German government, everybody. But what does he say exactly? I don't want to ruin it.
I've talked to the FBI, the American embassy. I've talked to everybody. I just can't get my wife to orgasm.
It's like, there's nothing we can do.
And then but then they continue the joke, and he pulls out like an anal device.
The anal intruder.
I'm sorry. He pulls out a what are those machines, like a jackhammer? Yeah. Nick pulls out a box that has a jackhammer with a rubber fist attached to the end of it. That's what it is. I mean. Right?
That is, I was like my sides were hurting. That was so damn funny.
And it all comes around. It's another part. The joke comes back around, which doesn't really happen in Airplane.
No. Yeah.
Which is later on when they're interrogating Nick. They say, "We found your agent dead in his bedroom with this device shoved up into him." And at the end of the anal intruder, which is implied that he was using by himself in his own hotel room, there's a banana. There's a peeled banana. at the top of it. And it's such a raunchy joke without being raunchy. It's just so subtly raunchy. It's incredible.
Well, they said the way he died was because he forgot that they use like 30 volt in Germany or something. So it wasn't even like the machine. It was like the electricity killed him.
Right.
Oh my God.
So stupid. I loved this next bit though. So he's in jail and they go to start taking him away. And he wakes up to find like a priest just reading like Latin phrases to him as if they're giving him his last rites on the way to death row.
Yeah.
And so they're just reading all of these Latin phrases, and it's like every Latin phrase you've ever heard in your life, like "e pluribus unum," "Veni Vidi Vici." Mm-hmm. I think at first it
End
starts
of
out.
list.
Yeah.
Well,
How many more Latin phrases do you know, Nick?
my favorite one was "coitus interruptus."
Oh, right. Caesar said that.
Biggest
Right.
dick.
And then
Dickus.
eventually they run out of phrases, as you would. 'Cause this goes on for way too long, as everything does. And they just say, "You're going to get fried in the chair" in Pig Latin. I don't know if you caught that. I had to play it back with subtitles. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's definitely Pig Latin. What are they saying? And it's just, "You're going to get fried in the chair." And then when they get in the room, they read the last thing, and then they show a shot of the guy turning the switch, and the electricity goes off, and it's just the priest in the chair gets electrocuted and dead. And then they just tell Nick, they're like, basically, "We want to show you we're serious." Okay.
Oh my God.
So you just killed a random priest.
I love the line, "Make sure they leave no marks."
Right.
That's a good
And
one.
then begins smacking him repeatedly.
Right.
I do feel like we're sort of divulging into just reading off bits, but it's
That's
still
okay.
fun. Yeah,
I don't
okay, that's
care.
fine. All right, fine.
It's so fun.
I'm a little self-conscious about it, that's all. Can we talk about the pigeon statue?
Oh my God, the
you really
pigeon
want to?
statue.
Yes.
Again, just like background shit that shouldn't matter, but it just does. It makes the whole scene.
It's happening in the distance as Nick and his girlfriend or whatever, Hillary, are having a conversation. And in this park in East Germany, they have not a giant statue of a man, but a giant statue of a pigeon. And meanwhile, these random men are flying onto the top of the statue and taking pisses on it. And it's like, why? Again, I can say that about every bit in this, but the visual shit, how do you think that up? These guys are just geniuses.
I know. But at the same time, when they're doing that, they are still committing to that part of the story with Nick and Hillary.
Right. The conversation is still meaningful.
Yeah, they're not drawing away from it necessarily. Like, it's still part of the scene. They're just, where can we fit in a joke?
Right. It's almost like they wrote this script and it's every minute they're thinking, how can we make this just a little funnier?
Yes.
How can we maximize the screen time? Comedies don't often do that. A lot of times comedies will just put the funny aside in service of the plot. Mm-hmm. But this movie doesn't do that. It's like, you came to this movie looking to laugh, and we are going to make sure we maximize the 90 minutes.
Yep.
So there is never a 15-second stretch where you're not laughing.
Yeah.
Truly, there is something funny within every 10 to 15 seconds of this movie.
Yes, exactly.
And if it's not funny, they cut it.
Yeah,
I
know.
really appreciate these guys, especially in this era where comedy is getting so indulgent. Like, comedy is getting very unfunny.
Yeah.
Especially like scripted comedy. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying like shows like Louie and Atlanta and Barry aren't great, but they do like dramatic stuff because they want to be made out to be more important than they are. I just love that Abrams, Zucker, and Zucker have no illusions about the fact that they do comedy. So let's just make people laugh, and we don't care if it's stupid.
Yeah, it's like stand-up for film.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, it's
100%.
Like, we're just trying to be funny. That's it. And I loved how that scene ends, too, which, again, makes absolutely no sense. Maybe even less sense than what they already established. But the
flying people, less sense than that?
Yeah, well, no, then it gets
it
even...
does, it does.
The statue takes a giant shit.
Right.
It's like, okay.
But yeah, you're 100% right. It is like stand-up. They write it so if there's not a laugh line every 10 seconds, you don't include it in the set.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, if you're a stand-up comedian, you get nervous if there's no laughter.
Yeah, exactly.
Filmmakers don't often feel the same way.
No.
And that's how these guys treat it. That's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah.
We have the bit of them playing the scene backwards.
Yeah. Nick
Yeah.
escapes the prison, by the way.
Yeah,
at a
yeah,
certain
yeah.
point, so, With
Which is also a hilarious scene.
Yes, it is.
Oh, with the bikes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
the
the horse bikes.
Yeah, that was great.
He goes, get! And the
yeah.
and the bikes
Drive off with no
try
one.
to make horse sounds.
Oh, it's great.
So
We meet this villain, I guess that's his name. No, I'm sorry. What's his name? Nigel. Okay.
Yeah, so on their way so at this point, Nick and Hillary are going to meet the Resistance. Mm-hmm. Because Nick is like, oh, I actually met your father in prison, so I know where he is, so we can go rescue him. So,
the father, by the way, is played by the guy that plays
Alfred
in all the early Batmans.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Mm-hmm. Michael Gow.
Ooh, that's an unfortunate name.
Yeah.
Well, so they're on their way to meet the Resistance at the potato farm, and they're hiding in the back of a cart, a horse-drawn cart. And so from the distance, we see the cart moving, and we hear like singing as the cart is traveling. And then it zooms in, and it's the horse singing, like really loud, like yodeling almost. And what's the joke? He goes, they get out of the cart, and the horse starts coughing, and they go, "Is he okay?" He goes, "Oh, he's just a little horse." It's the stupidest shit ever. And then he starts singing a Beatles song on the way out.
Hard Day's Night, yeah.
This movie is unbelievably stupid.
I love the gunfight when they're at the Resistance location.
Oh my god! Was your favorite part the tic-tac-toe scene?
Yes.
Okay,
I love Chocolate Mousse in general.
Oh, Chocolate Mousse, a great character.
This is great.
But they have this gunfight, and they're in front of these windows that have a grid design on them.
Yep.
So they cut between these various characters, smashing the glass in front of them.
And they don't even need to be smashing the glass
right
at a certain point.
And then shooting the guns outside the window. But Val Kilmer is hanging out by this window that doesn't have any of the glass smashed yet. And so he shoots through the middle pane of this 3x3 grid, and then the other guy fires back, and that hole makes an X. And so before you know it, he's playing tic-tac-toe with his dual partner, essentially.
What I love is when he gets the 3 in a row.
Right.
And he stops and he blows on his gun. Yeah. He's like
he doesn't even shoot the third time. He just pokes the hole in the window, and he's like, "I won." And it's like, you didn't kill the guy.
I love grenade when the one guy jumps on the grenade to save everybody, but then everybody else blows up.
It's like, well, then eventually the Germans get in the building, and so it's just a chaotic scene of like Germans and the Resistance all fighting each other. So Chocolate Mousse, this character, grabs a machine gun and he just starts shooting wildly into everybody, and all the Germans fall and nobody else. It's fucking incredible. And they're also using a cannon at one point.
Oh god, yeah. He like smashes the window with the cannon.
Right. And then actually the other thing, the same machine gun that he used, he's seen loading it like 1700s musket ball style, even though it's clearly like a machine gun, like it's a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
And he's just like sticking the thing down the barrel,
like
pouring the powder in. So absurd.
We have to mention that, but like Nigel is like kind of the head of the Resistance at this point.
Yeah. So Nigel's a pretty boy Englishman who is, he was essentially Hillary's love interest years ago, but she thought he was lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, he's devising this plan to go and storm the castle where the dad is being held.
Right.
And we get to maybe my favorite sequence.
This was the best. This was the best.
I had shown Nico this before because I'd seen the movie and I came to him and was like, dude, I've seen maybe the funniest movie I've ever seen. Let me just show you one scene.
Right.
From this movie.
And this is, I think, where it crosses into why is this a thing material.
Yes.
Of course, this movie is not bad, but we don't always talk about bad movies. We just talk about the weird ones. Mm-hmm. And this is another one of those scenes that's so bizarre and so absurdist, but also kind of makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like there's logic to the scene.
Mm-hmm. Well, and given what we've been provided so far.
Yes.
Well, also, but no, it's the detail, right? So we have this bit with the cow, right? So two of the Resistance members plan on raiding the castle by disguising themselves as a cow and blending in with the other cows that are being transported from building to building in this palace. And so they put on this cow costume, And it's got the head and the ass like you would normally see. And the cow begins walking with the other cows. But what you come to realize is that they used an actual cow for this scene. And that's supposed to be the fake cow. But it's just a totally real cow, except for the fact that this cow is wearing boots. And the boots are what tips it off that there are real feet underneath this costume. And that was the one detail. It's like, it's not as funny if it's just a cow. The boots are what pushes it over the edge. You know, you had to do one thing that signifies that it's someone in a costume.
Well, because it starts out with them like poking their heads out of a bush, and clearly it's a fake cow.
Right.
And it's like, all right, they're gonna do this, and then cut to a wide of the cow entering the frame, and it's just a real cow with boots on. It's so. I have never laughed so hard in my life.
Yeah.
I also, this is sort of a minor detail, but I love how they end up fighting over who gets to be the back of the cow.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, like, normally it's a kind of a trope where people fight over who gets to be the front of the horse, you know? So, also, I saw there's one little bit in this that I almost want them to make an entire movie about. It would be so stupid, but when they get up to the top of the tower, they push the guard off the tower, and he crashes into porcelain when he hits the ground. And I just want them to make an entire movie about this porcelain man who just wanted to serve his country, but he had glass bones and he could never do it. And they put him in this nice cushy position on the top of a tower where he would come into no danger. And it's his first day. And they just came in and pushed him off. That's what I want. I want a movie about that.
Did you see that coming? Like, as soon as like
No,
I was so
coming?
I was so surprised when I saw that. It was like one of the most like jaw on the floor moments. I'm like, I can't believe they thought of that.
Nothing in this movie
incredible.
you see coming.
Like, what? How do you come up with a porcelain Nazi? What the fuck
so
is going on?
Fucking good. I love that part.
I love the sound of him screaming. He's like,
And you can even see like the fake porcelain face that they detailed, which didn't completely shatter when it hit the ground, and it rolls to just the right angle that you can sort of see the face a little bit.
Oh my god, it's so
It's brilliant.
funny. It's so fucking funny. But we have to it's one of my favorite visual gags. It may be my favorite visual gag in the entire movie. But we have to finish up with the cow, because there is an extended sequence with the cow where they actually come to the junction box.
Gloss over it.
No, we're not glossing over this. I mean, it's a little weird because the second cow that comes into the picture is a calf. So that's a little disturbing. But who wants to explain it?
oh, the guy gets ass raped by a cow.
No, well, first he gets his dick sucked by a cow.
Yeah.
By a little calf.
Right.
So
That's not great.
Nigel's in the cow uniform, and a baby calf comes up and starts, getting milk.
Right.
From their cow uniform, but Nigel from the inside is just like, ooh.
Ooh, my favorite part of this scene. The sound of you saying ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh.
Why are you in such a rush? Why do we have to...
Let's
take our time.
It's like, because the entire thing is him like, okay, let's go. And then as soon as he's getting his dick sucked by the cow, he's like, what's the hurry? Why are we all in such a bloody hurry?
It's so weird.
And then it like jerks on him a little bit, and he just moves his leg, like little details like that. Oh,
Right.
It's just so fucking funny.
But then, yeah, later, since again he's the back of the cow, a bull comes up, I guess, right, with the horns.
Yep.
And you know where this is going.
Yes.
And it happens.
You guys
Right.
They don't really show it. It's just sort of like the gag of it happening, and then they move on.
Yes.
That's one of the few things they don't really dwell on.
Sure. Well, they know when to stop. They
That's
know
the
when to-
only one in the whole movie they don't dwell on.
They know when to be like, okay, we're done. Don't continue.
So we come to find out that Nigel is indeed a double crosser. He's the Benedict Arnold of the group. And so there's this scene where I think Val Kilmer kill him? I forget exactly
Fight underwater.
how that
Well, they have.
Oh,
a
right,
fight,
right.
Which is
Bonanza
amazing.
style.
Yes. Like, again, they fight underwater.
Like a Western.
But they have a bar down there and chairs and people sitting playing cards and in a window. It's amazing.
It's
And like
how did
the
they
punches
shoot that?
are brilliant. He's like winding up for the punches, and he like does this thing where he winds up his right arm and then punches with his left.
And I'm just sitting
So
there like
funny.
the the practicality and the technical achievement here, it's just so
Now, did they
great.
actually shoot that underwater?
Yes.
Or was that was?
Yes.
Because I was going to say, I couldn't tell if it was just superimposed, if it was special effects, but there's no way it looks that good unless it was actually shot underwater.
They shoot it underwater. He really puts. I love the detail with him putting the hat on at the end and winking his finger, doing the gun. It's just like,
Well, and they play the Bonanza music too,
I
which
know.
is just awesome.
I'm just like, how did they do this? This is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
because scenes like that, again, it's so well done where it almost goes beyond funny, where you're just marveling at how technically well done it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially with that scene.
Yeah, it's quite incredible.
They just don't make them like they used to.
They don't. I will say, if I'm going to nitpick, the ending was a bit abrupt, and I'm not exactly sure what was happening there.
I didn't like the "I'll miss you, Scarecrow" part.
Yeah, and
You
that's
didn't like
such.
that?
No, because again, that felt more reminiscent of like the scary movies and whatnot. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, all you're doing is referencing another movie.
yeah, and I didn't think it landed exactly. Yeah. That's the only one where I'm just like,
I think it was just like
no.
I think it was just like how stupid the goodbye is, and it's just I don't know. It didn't bother me. It was like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
No,
it was just the last joke in the movie.
yeah.
You know,
Sure.
Hillary says goodbye. She's greeting
I think-
all of her resistance members, and then all of a sudden, the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz is there, and she gives him a hug, and
Well,
that's
here's
the
the-
end.
We've talked about this before, but I think endings are pretty much universally bad
Yeah,
unless the entire movie is built around getting to the ending. And
Right.
but then usually what happens is the rest of the movie sucks.
Yeah, it's true.
So the ending is really always a bad thing. I feel like it's just the endings don't generally turn out good. And what they did here is they minimized the damage by keeping the badness of the ending down to like 30 seconds.
no, it doesn't kill the movie. It doesn't even kill the ending for me. It's just like, oh,
Well, I'm saying rather than dragging out the ending, they're just kind of like, okay, it's done now. Like we ran out of jokes. Boom, we're done.
yeah, that's a good
know?
point. I just wanted the last joke to be as funny as the ones that came before it. That's all. I just thought that was
The
one
movie
of the weaker
stopped being,
jokes in the movie.
Honestly,
And
the
I can
movie
agree.
kind of stopped being funny around that underwater fight scene.
Right.
Because it wasn't really... The underwater fight scene wasn't funny. It was fun to watch, but it wasn't funny.
exactly.
And so it stopped being funny probably after the cows.
But it's because they had a
as
lot
soon
of
as-
plot to wrap up.
Right, and they
that's,
just kind of
you know,
wrap it up. But they minimized how long it was going to take, and they just sort of like... They still made it fun to watch, but they... I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
a double-edged
they-
sword with a movie like this. Is when you put too much plot in it, you
Right.
have to wrap up a lot of plot.
There's
and you have
really-
to do a lot of work.
There's really only like 3 minutes left in the movie after Nigel gets knocked out, though.
Yeah,
Like, that's
you're right.
So they know when to wrap it up. It doesn't linger any longer than it has to.
Oh, the movie
Exactly.
certainly doesn't overstay its welcome. It's
which
a 90-minute movie. It's really short and it's efficient as hell.
Very efficient.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention a few little gags that we didn't talk about, and they're mostly like perspective based. Like there's the boots on the table. I absolutely
Yeah, that one's
love.
hilarious.
I love
Like
the giant phone was also hilarious. You remember the giant phone?
Right,
And then
basically like the foreground and background and how they play with each other. They, things look normal until the actor walks up, and then it just is all out of whack.
Yeah.
It's really creative stuff. And then the boots in the in the field when they're trying to evade the castle. There's just a random pair of boots, but when they come up to it, it looks like someone's just
Right,
standing
right.
there.
And we didn't really get into any of the bits or humor involving the characters who are in the Resistance. Mm-hmm. And it's not really necessary to, but they all have silly little French names like Croissant and Deja Vu. And Deja Vu was the funniest. Like, this one's Deja Vu, and he's like, "Haven't we met before, sir?" It's like stupid shit, and like Chocolate Mousse, like when he meets him, he just swallows his cigar whole. Like,
right.
stupid shit, but it's great.
Like memorable characters too. That's the other thing. Like this is just a quality movie that nobody has seen. And I feel like everybody should.
And it's what I like about it too is that the sort of genre or tropes that it makes fun of are very relatable. Like it's something that we've all seen before.
I agree. So yeah,
There we go.
top secret.
Top secret. Let's play a game. How many Careys?
I wonder who we're gonna do.
Omar Sharif. No, we'll do Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer. I would have loved to save this for Tombstone, but
What were we going to do? Tombstone?
we're doing Tombstone. One of these for Western Month. We're doing Tombstone.
When are we doing Western Month? When is that happening? We got to
As soon as Zakk is available.
Okay.
Wait, have we been talking about Western Month behind my back?
Yes.
What?
We talked about it.
I think we've talked about it with you.
Yeah, with Sam Elliott.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were going to get Sam Elliott on the podcast.
We almost had him.
I don't think so.
He was very enthusiastic, but then
I feel
he
like
came.
he would do it though, honestly. For
got
20 minutes. I don't feel like he'd give us more than that, but
Yeah.
No, we had. He got very sick and he couldn't come on.
Sure, that's what it was. All right. Val Kilmer, his net worth. What do you think, guys? $165 million is the net worth of Drew Carey. How many Vals?
5.5.
5.5 Vals. What is that?
30.
$30 million. Nick, what do you think?
we'll say 10.
Ooh.
10 Vals.
16.5.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying 16.5.
Damn it.
For 10 mil?
That's about 10 mil. I don't think
a
Val
nice spread.
Kilmer. Yeah, I don't think Val Kilmer's worked in a while, guys.
That's true.
That's a nice skeet surfing spread.
Sure. That Batman money only lasts you so long. That's all I'm saying, dude.
But he was in Heat for a little bit.
A long time ago. Dude, yeah, I don't think
he's got royalties.
He was in MacGruber.
He's got royalties.
What
With
is
a
forgot
name
he
like
was-
Val Kilmer.
I forgot he
just
was
get
the
paid
voice
more.
of Kit on Knight Rider.
He was also the voice of Moses in Prince of Egypt.
Wow.
Fun
Okay.
fact.
Also, I feel like there is like we could probably find some scientific evidence, but if you have a name like Val Kilmer versus a name like, Bob Jones, I bet you just make more money. You know what I mean?
Bob Jones. Bob Jones is a good name. That's a good name. Bob Jones.
I'm just saying, Val Kilmer is going to make more money because
One of the great actor names of all time. I think you're right.
here's the
about
reason.
that.
When you look at a movie poster from the producer's point of view, when you look at a movie poster and you see Val Kilmer, you go, I want to see that movie.
Sure.
I don't even care what the rest of the poster is.
Ooh, what's the best actor name ever? What do you think?
Rip
It might
Torn
be
is
Val
pretty
Kilmer.
great.
No.
Rip Torn's good.
I mean, Rip Torn is phenomenal, but like Harrison Ford or Humphrey Bogart, things like that.
No, none of them as good as Val Kilmer.
Those,
You don't think
those aren't
so?
as good.
You don't think so?
Val Kilmer is just naturally a badass movie star name. I mean, James Dean obviously is a great name.
What about Tom Cruise, Nico?
Great name. You're right.
Pretty good name.
Cruise Missile. No doubt.
All right.
Yeah, they don't do enough with Tom Cruise. He's too iconic. It's like you can't even play on his name.
True.
It's just so household.
All right.
Even Sylvester Stallone is like
Sly.
pretty good name.
No, I got it.
Schwarzenegger?
I have it. Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel is no, for real.
It's
You're
over.
not-
Yeah, it's
The contest is over.
I guess.
Vin, great. Diesel, that's a real last name. Diesel,
Jason Statham's pretty good as well. It's not quite as good as Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Not giving any credence to Schwarzenegger?
His last name is
No,
a
it's
gasoline.
He is a beast of his own, but his name isn't.
Really? I feel like it kind of is Schwarzenegger's name plastered on those
No, but
on
it's
those posters.
here's the-
what is our
it's a great name because we know who Arnold is.
Right.
We have to treat it as we've never seen this person before. This is their name. Are you interested?
That's a
in the
hell of
movie?
a name, though. Your name is Schwarzenegger? Yo.
There's like probably 1,000 Schwarzeneggers in Germany.
I
No
feel like
one
it's-
knows about.
It's not as slick.
no,
you know?
that I agree with. It doesn't roll
Like
off the tongue the
honestly,
same way.
Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester kind of sucks, but Stallone,
Yes,
No,
that's
Sly
like-
Stallone though.
Sly.
Sly Stallone. That's like
Sly Stallone
that's
is
nice.
dope.
That I agree with.
Yeah. All right, I have a number.
Okay.
All right.
The actual net worth of Val Kilmer. By the way, we went with 5.5, 10, and 16.5. The actual net worth of Val Kilmer is $25 million. That is 6.6. Drew Careys. That means, Adam, you just won this week's edition of How Many Drew Careys.
Well done, sir.
I'm just rolling in it. I'm rolling in the money here because we get paid
I
so
think
much.
this really does say something about the theory that Val Kilmer's name influences how much he makes.
I guess that's true. There you go.
I think it's a testament to how much they were paying actors in the 90s. That's what I think.
Is that his real name, Val Kilmer?
I guess I would assume. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
Well, I don't know. Actors change their names all the time. That being said, how do you land on Val, I guess?
No, Kilmer, Val Kilmer, real name.
Wow, interesting.
For sure. Man, he has not worked in a long time.
That's too bad.
Damn, dude.
Well, he got fat.
I cannot wait for Top Gun 2. That'll be great.
One of his best performances actually is Gay Perry.
In what?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Gay Perry.
You still gay? Me? No. I'm knee deep in pussy. I just love the name so much I can't get rid of it.
So dumb. All right. That's a podcast. We got to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a fun one for us to get Zakk on, too. That was really nice. Subscribe to all of our shows. They're all available on the website, toomanythoughtsmedia.com or tmt.media for short. Nick, you got anything for me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just edited the second episode of the Fantasy Book of the Month.
Cool.
So I got the audio all set, and that'll be coming out first Friday of every month. So
Sweet.
Sounds like a plan.
Working.
Awesome. We will be doing our review of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, hopefully within the next couple days.
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully with a guest.
I really want to get him on. I'm getting sick of this shit.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like if we don't get him on for this, I mean, we've literally been building it up for like every other show we've been doing. We're gonna get him on, and then it just doesn't happen.
We'll
Is it
try.
a secret guest?
No, it's
No.
Jabril.
It's Jabril, friend of the podcast.
Oh yes. I've been talking to Jabril. He's got to come on.
I know.
Yeah. He wanted to come on for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He booked his spot like 2 months ago.
Yes.
Good.
And if we deny him this, it will be
I hope he's seen the movie.
me too. that as well.
We'll
Maybe.
shoot him a message now, maybe. Coordinate.
We tried. It's a long story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hopefully coming within the next few days. All I want to do is talk about this movie, Adam. You understand that? That's all I want to do is talk about
We also
this movie.
need this, though, because Jabril, of everybody I know, has the nicest voice.
Yes.
And I think people are just sick of listening to our voices.
Our
Shrill,
raspy, horrible.
Raspy, shitty voices, yeah.
Like prepubescent voices. Ugh.
For sure.
Really does suck. doesn't
Jabril
it?
is literally a voice actor.
Yeah.
He's a voiceover narrator.
I've never heard a better David Lynch impersonator in my entire life.
Yeah. So that's hopefully coming up. We'll be talking about Tarantino for, I would assume, 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah. I'm putting the over-under at 3 hours.
I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about any Tarantino movie for 3 hours.
I'm putting at 3 hours.
Jesus
I have
Christ.
so much to say. Okay, that's it. Love you all very, very much. And until next time, y'all been so naughty.
Don't say